Shaquille O'Neal, also known as Superman, is widely regarded as the most dominant center in NBA history. With his unmatched size, strength, and sheer power, Shaq overpowered anyone who stood in his way. In 2000, the year he secured his first championship, he led the league with a career best of 29.7 points per game.
Looking for Shaq, who takes it in deep, and you can't stop that. Well, if you're going to let it...
Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, often hailed as the greatest power forward in NBA history, built his legacy as a consistent double-double machine. During his second MVP season, he dominated the boards with an impressive average of 12.9 rebounds per game.
Reset as they felt they had possession. Oh, Duncan on the follow!
Chris Paul, famously nicknamed the Point God, earned his reputation by masterfully orchestrating his team's offense and setting up his teammates for prime scoring opportunities. His best season as a playmaker came in 2008 when he averaged an outstanding 11.6 assists per game.
Spinning away from Arroyo, using Okafor's screen. Alley-oop to Emeka! How about that?
Now, you know those hypothetical questions you ask for fun, like, what would happen if you combined a lion, a tiger, and a leopard? Well, here's one for you. What do you get if you combine Shaquille O'Neal with Tim Duncan and Chris Paul? The answer? Nikola Jokic. It's still early in the 2025 season, but my goodness, guys. Nikola Jokic is averaging 29.7 points per game, 13.7 rebounds, and 11.7 assists. Sheesh, guys. This man is scoring like prime Shaq, dominating the glass like prime Duncan, and dishing out assists like the point god at his peak. Then, on top of all that, the man is shooting a jaw-dropping 56% from beyond the arc, an efficiency that even surpasses Steph Curry's best three-point shooting season, where he hit 45%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just one of the many statistical anomalies unfolding this season. And in today's video, we're diving into everything that defies logic about the 2025 NBA season.
5 with 4 for the lead. He's got it, and they've got the lead. Up high and down hard.
Before diving into the surprises of the 2025 NBA season, let's pause to appreciate the three constants that never change in the league. In a world that feels more chaotic by the day, it's reassuring to know some things always stay the same, and these are: number 1, Kawhi Leonard being injured. The man must be eternally grateful to the basketball gods for that miraculous game winner against Philly and the unfortunate injuries to Clay and KD in 2019. But since then, he's been able to hold an entire organization hostage. Think about it. He's pulling in $50 million a year from the Clippers, and what has he delivered? A rulebook change on load management, a laundry list of injuries, and fleeting moments of greatness before disappearing when it matters most. And as the 2025 season tipped off, his injury status read the same as always: out indefinitely. Honestly, I wasn't even surprised. Number 2 in the NBA's big three constants is Kawhi Leonard's biggest fan, Zion Williamson. Before the season tipped off, Zion boldly declared this would be his revenge season. Fast forward less than a month in, and the man is already injured. The latest update, he's expected to miss a considerable amount of time. At 24, Zion should be entering his 6th season, dominating the league and living up to his generational hype. Instead, he's sidelined just like every other year. And look, I get it. NBA players put incredible stress on their bodies, and I'm not a professional athlete, so I can't claim to know the full picture. But if a 40-year-old LeBron is out there dropping triple-doubles in what feels like his 30th season, it's hard not to question why Zion can't stay healthy at 24. Am I surprised by this injury report? Not in the slightest. The final constant in the NBA universe is none other than LeBron James 2.0 doing what he does best: Every offseason, he drops flashy training highlights, reassures the media he's fully healthy, and then comes back avoiding shots outside 10 feet before inevitably missing games. Now, as of this video, the Nets have played 14 games, and here's the reality. I've already seen multiple instances where he's passing up easy shots.
Simmons shovels, gets it back. Boy, Ben Simmons he
has to go to the basket on that. Get it and go.
On top of this, he's only played 10 of those games, meaning he's already missed nearly 30% of the season. And let me tell you, it's only a matter of time before we hear those dreaded words, out for the rest of the season. All right, now that we've covered the NBA's 3 fundamental constants, let's move on to the insanity that's been this season so far. And let's kick things off with the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, if I could have added a 4th constant to the list I just mentioned, it would have been Joel Embiid. There's always something wrong with this guy, and now it's spilling over to his team.
The trickle-down effect that takes place when a player like Joel Embiid is late or absent or whatever the case may be for any team event or activity, and how that could impact other players and coaches.
Last season, Tyrese Maxey blossomed into an all-star guard. The 76ers brought in a championship-caliber coach in Nick Nurse, and Joel Embiid could have been a back-to-back MVP if he stayed healthy. Fast forward to 2025. They added Paul George, an all-NBA caliber player, and somehow they're now dead last in their conference. And this isn't the West we're talking about. It's the East, where only 4 teams are above 500 right now. Yet, here they are, behind the Washington Wizards. Yes, the same Wizards led by Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. Sheesh, guys. This team has an MVP candidate, an All-Star, and an All-NBA talent. Yet, they're sitting dead last in the Eastern Conference. Unbelievable. It's crazy to think that before the season began, Vegas gave the Sixers the 7th best odds to win it all and ranked them 3rd in the East. Anyway, what's even crazier than this? The Cavaliers started the season 15-0. This marked the 2nd best start in NBA history, behind only the legendary 2016 Warriors, and it came completely out of nowhere. Now, I didn't think the Cavs would be bad this year, but to be this good? Absolutely shocking. Ironically, the team that handed them the first loss is also at the center of a debate about why some think the NBA is losing viewers. You see, at the start of the season, viewership was reportedly down by 40%, and some legends, like Shaq, blame it on one thing: every team relying too much on three-pointers.
I was talking to a coach yesterday. He said they want to shoot 53s. I think viewership will continue to go down unless we switch things back up.
Case in point, the 2025 Boston Celtics. This team is jacking up a mind-boggling 51 threes per game.
Not thought to be serious. It's another 3. How about Boston? They are plus 36 from the three-point.
To put that in perspective, let's rewind to the 2016 Warriors, a team that redefined three-point shooting. That year, Steph Curry shattered the record with 402 threes, and Klay Thompson added 276 of his own, breaking Ray Allen's previous single-season record. Yet, even that iconic team only averaged 31 three-point attempts per game. Let that sink in. The 2025 Celtics are attempting 65% more threes than the 73-9 Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to modern basketball. Out in the East, another big surprise has been LaMelo Ball cracking the top 5 in NBA scoring, averaging nearly 30 points per game.
The greatest shot by LaMelo Ball!
This is wild to think about because, I remember watching clips of LaMelo as a 5-foot high school freshman alongside his brothers Lonzo and LiAngelo at Chino Hills. Back then, they went 35-0? Now, that same LaMelo Ball is lighting up the league and dropping 30 a night. It's not that I didn't think he could get there someday, but seeing it actually unfold just hits differently. Elsewhere in the East, the New York Knicks pulled off an absolute heist, robbing the Timberwolves in that Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns trade. As for the Bucks, something tells me Giannis might be gearing up to request a trade soon. Right now, Damian Lillard is shooting less efficiently than Jordan Poole. Yes, the same Poole who was last season's NBA punchline. In a recent game winner, Giannis didn't even celebrate with him. And honestly, can you blame him? Lillard went 5 for 17 with just 16 points before hitting that shot. So, considering what the Bucks had to give up for him, he better have made it. Anyway, now let's shift our focus to the Western Conference.
Warriors, come out to play! Warriors, come out to play!
Last season, teams were lining up to call out the Warriors, thinking they were an easy target. But this season, no team in their right mind would dare. Well, maybe the Los Angeles Clippers. For some odd reason, the Warriors' Achilles heel this season appears to be the Clippers, specifically when they're on the second night of a back-to-back and missing Kawhi Leonard. But it highlights one key takeaway, that the Warriors have nearly everything they need to dominate, except for one glaring weakness: a few more inches at the center position. Ivica Zubac made that crystal clear, showing the Warriors that they're still too small to handle a 7-foot force like him. Other than that, this roster is loaded. They're deep, they're skilled, and they're laser-focused under Steph's leadership, who, by the way, is playing some of the best basketball of his career. Honestly, this team is giving me major 2014 Spurs vibes. A squad where no one logs over 30 minutes, yet multiple players hit double figures every game, with even more knocking on the door. The Warriors are playing at an unbelievable level right now, so it's no surprise they've claimed the top spot in the West. Another team that's caught my eye this season is none other than JJ Redick and the Los Angeles Lakers. Just a year ago, the guy was hosting podcasts, and now he's got the Lakers as one of the top teams in the Western Conference, working with practically the same roster as last season. The biggest storyline for the Lakers has been Bronny James. Unfortunately, he's been about what most people expected: underwhelming. But for Lakers fans, there's a silver lining. They found a gem in the draft with Dalton Connect 4, who recently went an insane 9 for 11 from deep as a rookie.
Got it! On fire! Connect 4 for 3!
This insane performance tied the record for most three-pointers made by a rookie in a single game, matching Rodrigue Beaubois back in 2010. Here's the wild part. In just one game, Dalton has already made more threes than Ben Simmons has in his entire 7-year career. Elsewhere in the West, Victor Wembanyama just dropped his first 50-point game, but honestly, his trajectory doesn't look as promising as the hype suggested. Sure, 50 points is impressive, but nearly half of those came from three-pointers. For someone with his current shooting percentage, he's taking way too many threes and not making full use of the one thing that had everyone so excited: his towering 7-foot frame. And then there's the Minnesota Timberwolves, who completely shot themselves in the foot with that cat trade. Why on earth would you trade a 7-foot sharpshooting big for a 6'9" player with a reputation for shrinking in big playoff moments? Sure, they got Dante DiVincenzo as part of the deal, but let's be real, that doesn't make up for it. The Timberwolves went from a team on the rise to just another mediocre squad stuck in the middle of the pack. Whoever signed off on that trade for the Timberwolves needs to be investigated for fraud or something, because honestly, that was flat-out highway robbery. Anyway, the biggest game of the season so far has to be the battle of the Splash Brothers. I'm talking about Steph the Chef Curry versus Klay the Captain Thompson. This might just be the greatest game I've ever seen between ex-teammates. And if you're wondering what all the hype is about, click right here to watch the full breakdown. You won't want to miss it.